Hey, it's Dr. Karen Ken. Welcome to another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest. And if you're on YouTube and you're new, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. So check the subscription button there and then click the notifications as well in case you want to be notified of any of the new videos that I produce. So, have you ever seen the cymatics? You have this plate that frequencies music gets played and it vibrates the plate, and there's like sand or salt on the top of it, and it creates these amazing geometric patterns. I'll link in the description in case you haven't seen something like that. It is incredible that every sound frequency has its own geometric shape. Now, that in and of itself is not news to a lot of people, but what's really interesting that I ignored originally was that when they were changing the frequency or the sound to a different level, for example, it was a low tone, then a medium tone, high tone, and kept going up. Before the next geometric pattern, the next beautiful pattern would reveal itself, there were, images, if you will, of very, very chaotic, chaotic sand pieces, if you will, in between. So you went from this fairly simple, geometric, beautiful, balanced structure to chaos, to the next symmetrical, balanced structure. And the higher the frequency, it seemed to me like the more complex the geometry. And then the next tone up, there'd be a chaotic time, and then we go to a really balanced, beautiful, symmetric structure. And it was a beautiful illustration of what we go through the ascension process, right? People go, oh, I'm going to live in light and love. And they don't realize that as we get closer and closer to divine, to that, the oneness, there has to be some chaos between the different levels of our consciousness, if you will. And even through the ascension process, we're going from, some people talk about going from 3D to 5D, there is this disruption in what's normal before we get to that higher level. So I had a perfect example of this as I was flying for the first time since the pandemic. And I was noticing when I was muscle testing that I was someone other than Karen Can G and the singularity. Now, normally I register a yes for both, and that's normal and fine for me. However, actually, it started a couple days before I flew as well. And I thought it was just a singular episode of, some new ascension information I was supposed to share with you guys, right? So I had, a few days prior to departing, had tested a yes for Karen Kenji in Divine Muscle Testing, a yes for the singularity, and a yes to something else. Well, that yes was joy. So I thought, okay, so I am joy. Now, at the time, I wasn't particularly feeling more joyful than normal, so I thought, okay. So I figured, okay, well, something's going to happen. But I was so busy getting ready for this trip and doing, certifications and different kinds of things that, I didn't really investigate further. The next day, I am joy. Like, okay, still not feeling anything majorly different, but we got to go with it. So while I'm traveling and, on the plane, I get to finally ask, okay. So I am joy. I'm Karen Kanji. I'm the singularity. What does it all mean, right? So then I went into stillness and the word activation popped up. I'm like, okay, so I'm supposed to activate the joy? What the heck? I'll just go ahead and do a TOLPAKAN Healing Directive and activate the joy. And then suddenly I no longer muscle tested for I am joy, which you would think, right? But no, I'm like, okay, so the joy frequency, if you will, is already downloaded. It needed to be activated. So I thought, okay, well, I thought I already had the joy frequency. So I asked a little bit more about it. And yes, I already did. However, I was not activating it just for myself. I was activating for all sensitive souls. At the same time, I'm thinking, oh, well, that's cool. So I think, okay, well, that's cool. I'll tell you guys about it, right? That wasn't it. That wasn't all of it. So then I am, testing with my pendulum. And I just realized the other day that this Ascension 3 pendulum that I got, I really had not used it because I'd, used it as a necklace, but not as a pendulum. So, I am testing this, and I was getting, pretty good, show me my yes, and then show me my no. And it was doing what it's supposed to do prior to me departing. However, on the plane, I thought to myself, well, I'm just going to practice. Thank you, Tammy Master Berte. I'm just going to practice. So I decided to take the menu on the flight and start to pendulum, which would be for my highest and greatest good to eat. What would be good if I was going to buy something, right? And the funny thing is, it said a yes over the M&Ms. And I thought, not the artichokes, not the kale salad, the M&Ms. Okay, something's a little off. So I had James, my husband, test me manually with muscle testing, the outstretched arm, and I was kind of all over the place. And I thought, okay, what's going on? So I went back to divine muscle testing because it was super fast. I was asking, I was yet something else. So now the thing is I teach my students, if you are something other than you could be partial proxying or proxying. So if you say yes to, I am, in my case, Karen Kanji, and yes to somebody else's name or something else's name, then you are partial proxying. So part of you is proxying and processing their stuff. Well, of course, it has to get really, really interesting. In this case, I can ask, because my yeses and nos were okay in muscle testing, is Karen Kanji proxying or partial proxying? I got a no, kept getting a no. So I thought, okay, so last time was joy. So what is it this time? Let's just test. So my name is Karen Kanji. Yes. My name is, the singularity. Yes. And then I got, my name is free. That was the next one. Yeah, I think I wrote it down. Yeah. So free or freedom. And got yes. I thought, well, that's interesting. So I said, okay, well, let's activate freedom. So we activated freedom, and then I was back to, my name's Karen Kanji, my name's Singularity. I'm like, okay, so I guess these frequencies are just activating in highly sensitive people or sensitive souls right now, and I'm witnessing this, and it's coming through me, and this information, so I could share it with you. And it just kept going wonky. So I'm like, okay, let's test to see if I'm still testing for the M&Ms. So, there seemed to be a recalibration time after the activation. So there was a little bit of that chaos where I wasn't able to fully muscle test exactly everything perfectly, or the penduluming was a little bit more sensitive to that. So I was having difficulties with getting the yes and no's consistent. I would get a consistent yes, but not a consistent no. Half the time it would be maybe, or it doesn't matter, So I was like, okay, let's just wait. And then things would shift and change. So that kind of chaotic part, would just kind of go as we recalibrate. Well, I thought I would ask a better quality question using divine muscle testing when I got my yes, no back. And that is, okay. So joy wanted to be activated. Freedom wanted to be activated in all sensitive souls, that frequency. What else is there, right? So I asked my famous question, how many? TOLPAKAN Healing Level 1s and 2s know this, right? I asked, how many of these are activating right now for sensitive souls? And the answer was 21. 21 of them. Now, I thought I could guess, what these were. But the funny thing is some of these words were not something I was thinking of or thinking that would be a really positive word to activate. And one of the reasons is because it's already activated in sensitive souls. So if that energy, like transformation, transmutation, love, alchemy, like those, positive words already activated, there was nothing to activate. So I got these 21 words that had not fully activated and activated for all sensitive souls. Now, what we're going to do for the TOLPAKAN Healing Activation this week is I'm going to read off each of these words. And what I'd love for you to do is just feel the vibration in your body as you receive that remembrance, if you will, of the frequency you already have. And likelihood is that if you are watching this, you're a sensitive soul and you've already been activated this week with these frequencies. But sometimes it's nice to just pay attention to them and then just see what your body feels like while I read these off. So don't worry if it's like, oh, is she reactivating me? Am I going to be reactivated? Do I have this? Don't worry about it. It's just, if you're feeling like, hey, in case for whatever reason I don't have these activated, I want them, and it's for my highest risk good, go ahead and just make the intention to receive, that activation. Pretty simple. Now, the interesting thing was, because I sell, the Ascension 3 jewelry, and they really, really help with me sending anything that's global, healing to everyone with Ascension 3, whether that be a sense of soul or not. I thought, well, maybe if somebody has Ascension 3, this activation will be faster. Well, my ego wanted it to be faster, but I'm going to tell you honestly, nope, it wasn't any faster. So I thought, okay, well, what if somebody was not a highly sensitive soul, or was not an indigo, earth angel, starseed, etc., right? If they weren't that, but they had an Ascension 3, would that activate it in them? Because I was just doing the activation to sensitive souls, because that's what was activating. And the answer was no, not really. So I thought, bummer. So when I asked Source more about that, it's like if the person has other things to heal first or clear first, no matter, even if they have Ascension 3, it wouldn't necessarily download or activate those energies in them until they were ready. But all sensitive souls in general, all sensitive souls on the planet are ready. So they're activating in you. And maybe not necessarily, your husband or your child or whoever has Ascension 3. That being said, what we can do is you can program your Ascension 3 to say, hey, when they're ready, go ahead, activate them and recalibrate them after these energies activate. So you can do the order now for in the future, assuming they are still, wearing it or holding it or connecting with it, that'll be good for them in the future. So that was something I wanted to share with you. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the TOLPAKAN Healing reactivation right now. And I'm going to read off each of these frequencies. Like I said, some of the words you're like, okay, well, I'm not sure why that one's activating. So just kind of like let the mind just kind of go and just turn back to feeling in the body what it feels like when I read off each of these frequencies. And then after the activation, we'll go ahead and do a recalibration. It took a number of minutes, probably 3 or 5 minutes for me to recalibrate after all of these were activated. So if you're muscle testing, if you're using the pendulum, might have a temporary kind of like, woo. But on the other hand, since I did this the other day already, you might not have even noticed any shift at all in what was happening in your life. That being said, maybe you did, maybe you didn't. I'd love to hear. So go ahead and put it in the comments. If over the last week or so, I believe it started Monday, last Monday, this joy activation and the others became, the others were all available and they were just coming in a specific order, but you could have activated them all at once. So we're going to do it all at once today. So in case you notice anything, I'd love for you to put in the comments. So here we go. So we're going to go into stillness through observing internal movement first. So this exercise, you're going to have rub your hands really, 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 really hot. Fast, fast, fast. Good. And then you can close your eyes. Feel the movement of energy in the body. A lot of people first feel it in the hands and just follow the flow wherever it goes. I'm actually feeling it pulsing kind of my whole upper body right now. Excellent. Okay, so just continue noticing the energy in your body. I'm going to go ahead and read off the frequencies. So it's now commanded that these frequencies be fully activated in the highest and best way for you. Joy, free, freedom, acceptance, compassion, healing, appreciation, faith, authenticity, truth, purpose, wisdom, honesty, creativity, sovereign, presence, family, as in soul family, silence, nature, choice, kind, support. Continue noticing the energy in the body. I now command that all these energies be fully activated and recalibrated in your bodies, physical and non-physical, in the highest and best way, all directions of time, with ease and grace. Let's go ahead and ground everyone, top to bottom, whatever it is that is for your highest and greatest good to be grounded to. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so we'd love to hear what that felt like in the body. Thank you so much. I do have some announcements for this week. On Monday's radio show, we have an airing of a pre-recorded radio show podcast with my guest, Sandy Forster, and I loved this interview. It's entitled From Welfare to Millionaire. Now, Sandy Forster is an award-winning international bestseller of the book, How to Be Wildly Wealthy Fast, and it's been translated into 11 languages. Yes, so she tells about her story of how she went from being a welfare mom, to being wealthy. And it's not necessarily what you think. And I think it is really important for those of us, especially, I had this as well, that have that disbelief. Like, I think people kind of born wealthy, born with a silver spoon in their mouth, or, they, got good grades like Dr. Karen and went to medical school. So of course they have money. Right? So, just because you went to medical school apparently does not necessarily make you wealthy if you don't have the energies or if you have the negative wealthy mindset, which I had many years ago. So was a lot of debt, and felt kind of victimized by it. And now it's really, really different because I shifted so much internally within myself. So we're going to have this really great conversation with Sandy about that, not just her journey, but how she helps people really shift. She's the money mindset coach, if you will. So if you are curious about how you can improve or amplify your prosperity, definitely watch Monday's radio show at 12 noon Eastern. We'll be airing that, and I'll put the link below this video. A couple other announcements is my Healthy Habits, Healthy Life. The last one that I have there is on amino acids. And you're like, wow, that's very doctory of you. But it's something that was recent for me to learn about how just because we eat protein, which then breaks down to amino acids, that even if we think we eat enough protein, whether you're vegan, vegetarian, or an omnivore or carnivore, sometimes it doesn't get assimilated or utilized in your body. It doesn't actually build your bones, your muscles, etc., that it's supposed to. So we talk about why that is in the Healthy Habits, Healthy Life video. So I'll link that replay below here as well. And Ascension 3, we mentioned that today. Ascension 3 is where I share these healing tools. So for those of you that are new to my channel, you might want to know, well, what's special about it? Well, I had asked Source a long time ago, how do I get the beneficial, benevolent frequencies of my Ascension 1 MP3 and my Ascension 2 MP3 together, so people don't have to have multiple devices, play the frequencies and then command them to do whatever they want them to do. It's like the etheric magic wand, if you will. And I could never get both Ascension 1, which deletes negative energy, and Ascension 2, which downloads positive energy in the same format. Like, it just wouldn't work very well as an MP3 or a WAV file or whatever it is, so people could just play it. So I asked God one question one time. I said, how can we? Is it possible to have it in one thing? And the answer was yes. And so what we had to do is actually infuse the frequencies into something like crystal, stone, even silicone will work. Certain things don't work, like cotton doesn't work really well. But I use Energy Tools International. These are amazing, amazing scientists, and their company actually can copy, if you will, or duplicate the healing frequencies, the TOLPAKAN healing frequencies, and infuse them into special materials. So we started the team and I decided we were going to have a store and check it out and, actually sell jewelry and other items that are energy infused. And we've had wonderful feedback on how it's helped people. So I do not pretty much go anywhere without my Ascension 3 bracelet. I just got this brand new water bottle at the LifeWave convention. So I put my 3R formula on it so it can infuse it with the frequencies of the 3R formula, which is Ascension. It's like Ascension 1 and 2 plus other frequencies. Ascension 3 pretty much has Ascension 1 and 2, and it also has the frequencies of Hiddenite Gem, the Schumann resonance, and also the Flower of Life resonance as well. Talk about frequencies earlier, right? So it has those frequencies already infused in it. You tell it what to do, where you want it to go, what you want it to do. And we have a whole series, like a mini course that's free that you can get. That if you are new and you're like, I don't know how to use this healing tool, it will show you how to do that. Now, I'm telling you this because we are relaunching the store. We open about every 4 to 6 weeks or so. It's been super busy over here at the Academy of Light Medicine. So we haven't launched every single month. And also, too, we just basically have one person, my general manager, Taylor, who manages the whole store. So it's a lot of work. So we decided we were going to launch August 22nd at 11 a.m. And we only open for a week, so she can do fulfillment over the next few weeks. So we have, different pendants and bracelets. We have stuff for guys, obviously stuff for girls. And you can basically make a wish and have the tool kind of do your bidding. So there's a lot of sales. So we are kind of cleaning house. And some of the items, we can't make anymore or chose not to continue with them. So we have some major sales going on. So this is a great time to purchase this. And remember, if it is allowed and for the highest and greatest good, if there is a global healing that I'm doing, a new activation, something like that, and you do have a piece that you wear on you that, think of it as nodes of a star grid, that we can send that healing much, much easier. You pretty much said, hey, I'll accept anything good, so that can be really helpful. This particular one is one that I like it a lot. We may actually continue, selling this one, but I actually am now using it as a pendant and a pendulum to test my food and things like that. So ascension3.net, if you want to be on the VIP mailing list, the email goes out to you first. Of course, those of you that are, have been in the tribe for a while will know just 11 a.m. Eastern, the store opens. So you can bookmark that in your calendar as well if you don't necessarily want to wait, to see on the mailing list what the different things are that are on sale. You can just go to the store at 11 a.m. on Monday. It'll be open for you for a week only, and then we close up the store for another 4 to 6 weeks. We have a couple of new pyramids as well, Ascension 3 pyramids. Those are the super strong ones if you have it near your person. So they're about yay tall. If you sleep at night, and you're brand new to this work, you may want to put it further away from you because it just, the healing speed is much faster because it's such a big item that's infused with the energies. Yeah, so the smaller the items, it's just as powerful. It just doesn't work as quickly. That's my current understanding of how it all works. So that's it for this week's Spiritual Medicine Digest. Thank you so much for joining me, and look forward to seeing you soon on video. Well, seeing me soon on video. Anyway, you know what I mean. So remember to subscribe if you're on whatever platform you're on, and hit the notification bell so you know when my next video is. And lots of love to you, and please comment in the comments below what that was like for you. Until next time, bye for now.